The views expressed by Biz do not represent the rest of the group. OSB Live. I'm Mike.
I'm Ish.
I'm E-Man.
And I'm H.
We've got a special guest in the building. Big man Val.
Wait now! I told you, he was ready.
You're happily going across the zebra. In Nigeria, you definitely have to run. You get what I mean?
It's not an option. You have to run.
The Western world operates mainly off credit.
Yeah.
And you earning things and repaying them back.
Yeah.
Whereas in Africa, yours is yours.
Yeah.
The government tried to pay some people to influence, to do PR for them, basically.
This is what we used to watch our dads do. We're doing it now.
What?
Big man Val. Introduce.
Wait now! I told you, he was ready. He's just ready.
He's a Nigerian man.
He's just ready.
Right off the
My name is.
This nigga wants all these stuff. Let me talk.
Let me talk myself now.
Oh,
Yeah, we got Val in the building.
Yes.
Pew pew pew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so small, by the way.
Why?
Probably he's bigger than me.
What the heck? That was so random.
Bro, like,
Mad insecure. That was mad insecure.
have you heard Brent Fires Insecure, fam?
He's bigger than me.
He's like, it's not fair.
Stretched like this.
It's not fair.
Man's like this, yeah.
Hey, yo,
I'm a
you know
big
that
man,
happens
you know.
in life, you know.
I'm 6'1".
That happens in life.
You're not used to it.
Wait, Val, how tall are you?
He's 6'3".
Bro, I've said
Bro,
it.
I'm
I
there
swear.
like this.
Bro, it's more time. You see, you two man that really care about this height.
I do. I wish I was taller. I don't feel tall.
That's so funny. But bro, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, introduce yourself.
Tell us about yourself, bro.
Finally, it's me.
Yeah. Said I've been waiting.
I was waiting for you at the door.
Yeah, name is Val,
Come on.
and into IT, and pretty much that's pretty much it. Just help people down to come over to the UK to study or work or whatever, to understand how that works and how they can make something for themselves.
I love that, man. So you're Mr. London.
Actually,
Uncle
my
London.
handle is beautiful London.
Yeah, you see, Mr. Bros.
Mr. Abroad.
I knew there would be London
Uncle
there.
London.
Uncle London.
I'll talk to Mr. Abroad for you.
I'll talk to Mr. Abroad.
Just sort
Yeah,
something for
Just
you.
make sure you do that application, go through nursing, and that's the only
And
way.
jump in.
Nah, but one thing that's cool about Val, yeah. Obviously, I know Val and it's my boy. But I wanted him to talk about like his journey. Obviously, he's just mentioned that he helps people like come over from people come from Niger abroad and stuff.
Legally,
like
by the way. Because
I mean,
I don't want people to
no,
misbrand him.
misleading.
No, because the way
Yeah,
he's saying
like
it,
this
they
whole
will
line of
help
business.
you come over.
Wait, is he Harriet Tubman? Is it on the road?
I detest that.
No,
I detest that.
I want people
Because
to
why
know
must-
that he's a serious
why
guy.
must you assume?
No, because some people
No.
clip this.
No.
They'll
hold on.
clip it
No, hold
and they'll
on.
make it
Hold
seem
on,
detest
like...
that
Yeah.
assumption.
See the hint of racism.
I detest.
If he was a white man,
You
if he
would've-
was
yeah, I
Australian.
just
He was
said-
Eastern European, yeah.
The views expressed by Biz do not represent the rest of the group. OSB Live. Thank you. If you want to just cancel this side, just cancel this side.
All of here, just cancel this one.
That's how you say.
Oi.
We're joking.
Is it those Ukrainians?
Hey.
That's what he said.
Hey.
That's what he said.
I'm involved.
Now you are the nationality.
If you want to
That's what he
cancel...
said.
So Michael,
That's
you
what
were
he
saying
Is
something
it those
good.
Polish?
You were saying something good.
Hey, you guys, listen, they're lovely people.
Very
I
good.
got Polish
love
family. I
everyone.
got Polish
I
family.
love
They know it's love.
everybody.
You sound like those white guys.
Everyone.
Hey, I got a black friend. I got a black friend,
I got
okay?
Polish family.
I
I'm not
love
racist, bro.
everybody.
Today, come here.
No,
Meet
but-
my black.
Meet my black.
Me, my
Sorry, Val. We're very on
Nah,
serious.
sorry, we're on serious.
We're going to become serious now.
Alright,
Don't
but
worry.
yeah.
Bro, he looks, bro, he's just like...
It's like, what did I come
Yeah.
from?
What?
This is how we
I'm
do.
telling them how I help people, and these people I'm
This is how
talking
we do.
about.
This is how we do.
Uh,
But yeah,
boy.
but you assist people to transition from, you know, like Niger or wherever over to the UK, people are thinking about moving. Because you have like tips and stuff, because you've done it yourself. So I just want to just talk us through that journey. Like, what was that process like?
How did you come? Like, what was your journey?
Yeah, how did you come and why?
Yeah, actually, I came to the UK as a student myself.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I wanted a good life, a better life, a more structured life, you know.
Okay.
Like I was painting a picture previously, when you're living in Nigeria, sadly, it's too chaotic, right?
Yeah.
Now we're coming over to the UK, not necessarily because there is, air quotes now, a better life, right?
Yeah.
This better life is sponsored by the structure of the fact that, let's start from the basic things. You want to cross the road, you have to press the green button, you wait for it, it turns green, you go across, it's a zebra crossing.
Infrastructure.
You're happily going across the zebra.
Yeah.
In Nigeria, you definitely have to run. You know what I mean? So you can't just...
You heard the different intonation in his voice.
The
intonation.
As in, it's not an option. You have to run.
Definitely have
If
to
you
run.
like your life, you have to run.
You have to. You have to run.
but don't run.
You have to run.
Depending on the car, maybe you can walk, but no, you have to run.
You have to run.
So like I said, it's just the structure. You pay for light, you get your light. You pay for gas, whatever it is, you get it.
Yeah.
In Nine, sadly, you can pay for stuff and you don't even get it, right? So it's just that structure. That is, I think that is the first thing for anyone that wants to come over from wherever to the UK, especially if you're coming from
Nigeria,
any third world country or Africa. So that was the first one. Then I came as a student because at the time, that was like the most, would I say, straightforward, and the one that everyone had an idea of. Come as a student, then you can now transition to whatever. Now there are a whole lot of other options. You could do the global talent or whatever it is. It wasn't so popular back then.
Global talent.
I got some uncles that came with global talent.
No, what is that? I've never actually heard of it. What is
They
it?
came as swimmers. They came as swimmers for the Olympics.
Wait, is that what it is? Global talent, as in
It
like.
could even be. It could be in business.
I'll
as
kick
well.
his mic.
I think it can be in business. It can be
He
in
said he has
business.
uncles that are swimmers.
They came as swimmers.
Do they still swim?
They swam, yeah.
They definitely swam. Listen, they definitely swam.
Wait, that sounds
On
wrong.
God's green internet,
Like
they swam.
They swam, bro. And then you just seek asylum.
I tried to give him some road. I tried to give him some road. And then he just said it himself.
Don't mind them.
You didn't read the room.
Don't follow
Push on,
me.
brother.
You didn't read the room.
I'm
You were
just
saying something.
joking.
You were
I'm
saying
just
something.
joking.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Talent.
so global talent. So you're actually right. You can come business,
Yeah,
IT.
exactly.
I
Business
think
work,
there's people
Nursing's
applying
a
as
key one. No.
teachers. Yeah, you know, I don't really do much around the medical one because it's very complex, and I think it's easier for people in the field to just work out their thing for them. But global talent is a tier 1 visa, so you apply, you come to the UK. In 3 years, you can get your permanent residence, and from there you can get your visa, your passport. So I think it's clearer. Yeah, it's very straightforward.
That's one of the quickest ways.
That's
Then.
the
Yeah,
global
but
talent one.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't popular.
But then
previously.
But you have to be a talent.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to
So you have to.
talent.
What kind of talent is it? Like anything?
Well, if you're adding value to the
You know
economy,
what? It's not really anything.
Because
It's
what's the?
IT,
How's it
so you have
defined?
to go into
Okay.
tech. Either as a tech potential or expert, one of the both of them,
Okay.
or
to add to the
business,
economy in
or a
some
researcher, like lecturers, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like, let's say you're a professional, like an accountant, or
No, you don't have talent.
no.
Sadly.
They go on
You
nothing.
said you have to have
You don't have
talent.
talent.
But let's say you wanted
You
to
think
work
your
for
numbers is
government
talent.
or in like let's say you're a tech person, a really good, I don't know, coder or whatever, and MI5 want you now. They might give you that, right?
No, so the good thing about global talent is you're actually sponsoring yourself.
Also, you have to use.
Yeah, so for
use
instance, you say you're good at,
you're
let's say,
paying for
web
yourself,
development
yeah.
or anything, even product managing, right?
Yeah.
You just have to prove that you're good at it, and you get, so it's called a recommendation from one of the bodies, and with that you apply.
Is that it?
Yeah, you come over to the UK, and then you can now
Why is
look
more
for a
people not
job.
doing a global
But you're
talent?
saying
No,
is
you
that
have
it?
to
But to
prove.
have
Yeah,
that
you
skill
have to
set in
prove.
itself is
Oh.
hard, though.
And you don't know what the thresholds are.
But you said the swimmers.
No, actually,
That's a
it's-
different stream.
You know what? Another thing.
Funny, I isolated
Yeah, another thing is that I feel like coming to the UK, a lot of things are very straightforward. Like you talked about thresholds, right? for you to do the global talenting or most things, the information is there on the government websites, right? They try to make everything easy, right? They actually
It's there.
try. They try.
Since you've come to UK, would you say you are happy with? Because me personally, I don't think I'm the best advocate for this UK. I just think it's bad vibes. But since you've been here, do you think you're happy with that decision? Do you think it's lived up to the expectation?
I mean, you know what? That's not a very straightforward answer.
Of course,
question
it's
to
layered.
answer,
It's
right?
very layered.
So I said that the basics was to have a structure to life, to experience a different
Things that
This
function.
kind of
A
infrastructure,
functioning
yeah.
society.
Exactly.
Functioning
Yeah.
society,
So
yeah.
on that basis, I think I've made a very good decision, right? Considering the fact when I left Nigeria, for instance, the dollar was how much?
Yeah,
Maybe
honestly,
Right now it's
right now
crazy.
crazy,
You know,
bro.
for people that came to the UK in 2022, for instance, they are thanking God today. They feel like they made a very good decision because the cost of moving is triple,
Yeah, no,
right?
wow.
So you're spending
crazy.
25 million naira just to relocate
Wow.
from Nigeria to the UK.
About 25 bags.
Yeah, basically,
Exactly.
like
So
25
and
bags,
it's
yeah.
like
25
Like
bags.
20
worse now, no?
25
no,
bags.
it's worse.
No, it's worse now.
So it's really like 20 bags?
It's more now.
20
The
bags?
rate should be, I
It's
think,
1,800 now. 1,900. Yeah,
so,
I
that's
said mine
so,
today.
so is that like 17 then or
Yeah,
something?
you're looking at
so
about
it's like
17,000
17.
pounds.
17,000.
So
That's wow.
it's
The
really
naira is
expensive.
poor right now, bro.
And that's what brings that pressure when you're an immigrant, especially in recent times. The hunger is more, right? You're probably coming from, you were doing well, you're probably a banker or so, you were doing a good job, right? You had the Corolla, a Camry, you were doing your thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Now you've had to sell all that, put in your savings, maybe draw your pension, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you've come to the UK. So
Yeah.
feels like you've started from the
From
scratch
scratch.
again. So the hunger is definitely
And I think that's one thing that I always say I respect my parents' generation for. And I think we could probably echo the same story. Like, my parents had very good jobs in Nigeria. And I always just look at them and think, like, I respect and really value your sacrifice, because to go from the types of lives and jobs you had to come here and to be completely disregarded. I'll never forget, my dad said he was a very senior accountant in Nigeria. Innit? He said he went for, if we were just going to come here for interview, what, flipping KPMG, what am I saying? He came here, yeah, he said, we don't know any of these. And back then, I think things have changed now, but back then, they didn't know, they didn't value any of our qualifications. Like, they basically said you had to start from scratch if you wanted to be an accountant, as in go to uni. And he was like, bruv, I'm a senior.
I'm a big man.
Like I'm a senior. I even have a hotel as a side hustle. Like, I'm a like.
We
They
don't
said
trust
no.
that accreditation.
Yeah, they don't give a heck. And like, it's crazy how, like, things. I think, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. To me, I feel like things have improved in the terms that if you're a professional in Nigeria now, I think there's systems in place now where they will kind of appreciate your qualifications. Like, even in law, I used to work the previous law firm I was at. There was an individual that cross-qualified and was able to practice here. So, correct me if I'm wrong again. I don't know. I think things have improved, but back then, one of the things I think was very difficult, like you were saying now, is people were selling literally their good life that they've built in Nigeria and come in here just for that in search of that structure. But they end up going to like lower paying jobs, or I'm trying to say in a nice way, like modest jobs.
Absolutely.
Do you get?
I feel like sometimes we minimalize. Obviously, don't get twisted. I'm not saying that back there's anything wrong with being at home or whatever, but I feel like we minimalize the importance of that structure sometimes in the development of human beings. So kids, for example, it's very useful. Do you know what I mean? And especially, obviously, you correct me if I'm wrong. Things are getting better in Nigeria, but then there's other things that also.
Do you think they are?
No, I'm saying, but there's other things that are, you know what I mean?
They're getting better.
So from that perspective, obviously, I feel like that's where they see the value, because that structure is there. If I'm going to raise my kids or whatever, this is sort of the sort of infrastructure that I kind of want. Not to say that there's anything wrong. Maybe when they're older, we go back and we enjoy ourselves because it's a good life there. But in terms of structure, it's so important sometimes. In terms of just family making and just building a home. That's why I feel like it is. That's what keeps them here. Do you know what I mean?
I want to ask you,
Yeah,
do you think they're
I
getting
think you're
better?
being modest. You know,
I'm
if you're being honest,
I don't live there, so I
don't
can't.
think-
I
Yeah,
can't,
no,
I
I
can't
get
make
what
those
you mean.
assumptions.
In that, in that case, I absolutely understand you. However, I don't think things have ever gotten better.
Same. I think it's getting worse.
I think I made the thread recently on Twitter, and I was saying that if you're in your 20s and you're in Nigeria, sorry to say, I feel like you're wasting your life.
Wow.
Think about it.
Wow.
I left school at
That's
22,
a
BSc,
strong one.
right? I got done at 22. That is average age of getting done with BSc. A lot of people 24, 25. So let's say you're lucky to graduate at 2022, and then one fellow is the president for 8 years. By the time this guy is done, you're 28, 30 years old. You're done.
What does
You
that
know what I
mean?
mean?
Sorry, talk us through that for those who don't understand
So
the process.
basically, when someone becomes the president, the first tenure is 4 years, and it's almost
President of
impossible
what?
of the country. Right?
Okay,
So
yeah.
president of Nigeria,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
instance, it's almost impossible for them to lose. They always win the second tenure.
Yeah.
So it's guaranteed 8 years of terrible policies, terrible.
Oh, and then that affects you
choices.
as a 20-year-old too.
Of course,
for the
because
next
now
8
you've
years.
been with this
I
guy
get what you
from
mean now.
your 20th birthday or 22nd to your
28,
30 years
30,
old.
Okay.
And really, how long do humans even have to live? The average lifespan now is 50, 70 years, or 75 if you're lucky. So at 30, you probably don't even earn enough to get married, right? So before you start getting married, having kids, you're what, 33, 35. You're just struggling for the rest of your life. Before you know you're 50, you're done.
It's not much different in London, bruv.
No, you know,
London.
No,
So
but
I
at
know,
least the
that is
structure
why I
at least
talked
there's
about the
structure.
There is
Nah,
structure.
I get what it is.
You know that you're working at the end of the month,
You're gonna
something
get
is
paid.
coming in. And you see what
and there's
it is,
protection for what you own.
your parents, I speak to people, I say, listen, people that their parents left Nigeria back in the day, they had mad vision. Because things were not as bad as this now.
They weren't.
Our
Actually.
own offsprings are going to be the ones enjoying what you're enjoying now. And they're going to think about and say, oh, my dad was a visionary. But however, the people that saw the picture earlier on and left, they made very good decisions.
I must say, yeah.
You got what I mean? Apart from the hustle, we're saying, things are tough in the UK. If you're in the UK, you have, let's say, first, second, third generation in the UK. You can't compare to someone that is in Nigeria or moving from any African country to the UK. Especially, I know, obviously, some people are very rich. I'm talking of the average guy. Average guy born in the UK, average guy born in Nigeria. The opportunities they have are very different, right? The lifestyle, the values, very, very different. If you meet an average kid in Nigeria and ask them what they want, what they'll request could be very mind-boggling for you because you're like, why would you even need that? If you meet a child in the UK, some age bracket, ask them what they want, they're going to request something that you probably can relate to, right? Look at so many YouTubers today, like Mr. Beast, and when they talk about when they began to do YouTube, some of them say 15, 16, they had the opportunity, right? They had the opportunity. An average 13, 14, 15-year-old kid in Nigeria is probably doing what's playing video games at a video game shop. Not really like he owns the game in his house.
That's a thing still.
Do you see what I mean? So it's like I said, the opportunities are very, very, you can't even compare it. Right? And this is that structure. Something has led to these people understanding, okay, you're in school, maybe you started preschool to nursery to primary. You're related with different kind of people. That also exposes you to a different kind of lifestyle.
And I feel like
so,
we kind of have a westernized view of it. We look back and with a westernized lens, and then we say, "Oh yeah," it's like hindsight is 20/20 kind of a thing. But when you're there,
it's different.
It's completely different.
And I've learned that personally. I think I glamorize Nigeria because to me it seems like an escape from the reality of UK, and it appears to be exciting because everything I don't have in UK in terms of like your money stretches in Nigeria. It seems like there's more fun there, the food is better, all that kind of stuff. These are the glamorous sides of things. But the reality of Nigeria, if for someone that actually lives there and is partaking in the economy, is not as glamorous. And I guess I wanted to ask you, like, what was the final straw for you that said, you know, I need to leave this country, like I can't stay here?
Yeah, the NSAS period. I think a lot of people left as a result of that.
Can you just explain that quickly for people
yeah,
who
so
don't
there
know
was
about NSAS?
there was this protest for the youths actually came out to protest the bad governance, the way everything was. It was really terrible, and then they came out to protest. And during that period, the protests broke out across the country in several states. People were protested, and then the government tried to pay some people to influence to do PR for them, basically, right? So they tried to, I would say they just hijacked the protest and made a whole mess of it. Then there were rumors of massacres, shootings, and all that. So it's like it just became too chaotic, right? And then I'm back in my house looking at the whole thing. Then I was doing my good job. I was driving a nice SUV. I was just living my life.
My nigga Val.
IT guy.
What
Why did you IT then? You did IT?
No, I was working for a financial organization. So, yeah.
He's a big boy.
Senior man.
Oh, but this guy.
Let's drive my SUV.
No, I'm just trying to paint the picture.
Yeah, I
that,
get you. Yeah.
like I always say to most people, most immigrants in the UK, US, Canada, especially, were not all people in Nigeria.
That's
at
true.
Least,
You can't be. I
At
don't
least
think.
they were
They were-
average.
yeah,
To come here, I don't
yeah,
think
that's
you
what
can
I'm
be.
like,
Yeah, you can't be
can't
poor.
be
They
You
had
can't
an
be
average lifestyle
Yeah.
in wherever they came from, right? So when they come here, definitely they're trying to get back to the status they were
Reestablish themselves,
before
yeah.
and get in the system. Yeah. So back to your question, yeah, I was just like, I really can't do this because I'm thinking in the next 5, 10 years, I have kids, and then they're going through the same things. Like since I was a kid till this very point, we've complained basically about the same things. There's no light. There is
There's no
no
light.
street.
There's no.
You know, it doesn't
The
even make
roads are bad.
sense. The roads are. The painful thing is that they just want basic things: good road, light.
That's actually mad.
Like it's not even
And
difficult.
They're not even asking for
work.
crazy things like
Yeah.
jobs.
But you know what's so
They're
crazy?
not even asking for
You know what's so
benefits.
crazy? If you
It's
fix the
crazy.
road and the light, the opportunities for work create themselves.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
create themselves.
That's
Honestly.
true. 'Cause
then
someone's gotta
people
do the
trust
roads.
the economy a lot more. Right now, where there's no road, there's no like. How can you think of a business and feel comfortable to be like, I want to start a business?
That's what my dissertation was on. That's so funny.
Do you know what I mean? But
Wow.
if you just give them the road, the light, then somebody has trust in the system that, okay, cool. If I have a good that needs to get from here to here, it can get there.
One thing I've never understood, and forgive my ignorance, obviously I left when I was 5, innit? Like, what is the taxation system like in Nigeria, and is there enforcement for that tax?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question because the taxing system in Nigeria is very different, right? So they do a lot of indirect taxing. So obviously over here, no matter the job you do, once you get paid, just your tax goes off. But in Nigeria, they do a lot of VAT. They still tax people that work corporate jobs, right? If you're working for any corporate organization, they pay tax. Obviously, they have to charge tax you as well. But aside that, I know the question is going to be leading to us. So what did they do with all them taxes?
Yeah,
right?
because that's what I'm trying to figure out. Where's
You know what? That is very broad conversation because I feel like the Constitution. I've made a tweet on this as well. I feel like the people that came together to put together the Constitution for Nigeria just came to make wealth for themselves. And why something triggered that tweet? I've seen the case in Texas where the governor of Texas is saying he's going to sue the central government because of something that has to do with the border, exactly. And they're quoting their constitution from the 1800s. Like, how do you have someone in the 1900s writing a law that you can quote in 2024? Do you know how much foresight these guys had when people were land grabbing, trying to get as much oil rights and everything they could get to themselves? These guys sat down and wrote something that is applicable in 2024. You see a lot of foresight in the way they think, and I was really disgusted with the Nigerian constitution again because I learned one time when I was really pissed off with the whole light thing that according to the constitution, if you generate a certain kilowatts of light, it belongs to the federal government in Nigeria. So they have to, to give it back to NEPA for them to distribute it, and it doesn't even make sense to me.
If
Is
you
that
make
why-
it past a certain point,
Yeah, so states can't generate electricity for themselves.
What kind of country is this?
You see, so it's as
and
if
this is
That's
in the
ridiculous.
constitution? you
And
see?
that's
that's
in
what
the
I'm saying.
constitution.
That's
I
ridiculous.
have my own theories on this and whatever, but
You can't make this up.
anyway, because for
Nigeria
me,
is hilarious.
that's crazy.
Nigeria
So
is
a lot
an
of
interesting
things, a lot of
place.
things that happen in Nigeria. You see it now, and you're like, why is this happening? Why can't anyone check this? And then you go to look at the law of the land.
Mhm.
You see that there is actually provision for it, and it's like, how did anybody even write this?
And why is no one changing it?
Because they're the ones making the
Yeah,
money.
well,
How are you going
yeah.
to change it?
You see, so I think it was just last year before the last president left that they now rewrote and allowed for states to generate power, have their own rail tracks and all them systems. 2023, the world is coming to an end already. You know, people have gone far. So it's the problem is that we have a lot of, would I say, shallow thinking people in power. That is my opinion, obviously, and I don't mean to insult them, but that is just what I think. Because when I see how other countries think far into the future and make arrangements, make plans, I'm just like, it feels like these guys they just can't be bothered.
They're
They're
just
like,
making
as
out
long
for
as they're
everyone.
happy now,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, alright.
They're not thinking about the next
Yeah,
generation.
not at
at
all.
I got a question for
Go on,
you
bro.
actually. So, what would you say though? So, your transition from like Nigeria to here, you know, the structure that comes with living in the UK that isn't, you know, present in Nigeria. But what would you say are some of the challenges that you face here? I want to see
Yeah.
if, as someone who's migrated,
Oh, I've seen both.
you face the same challenges we face.
I mean, the first challenge I would say is one thing out there is very easy to make extra money in Nigeria. It's you know what you could come out from your house, no jokes, link up with some guys, and then one business comes out, everyone shares money. In 1 week, you've done some good transactions. That is, I mean, I've been here 3 going to 4 years now. That is almost impossible. You know? So it's like
No
So
one's
much-
to
I said,
give
there's no
money.
quick
You know what
cash,
it
bro.
is?
No
quick
one wants
cash
to
here.
give
No
money.
quick cash
You
here.
need-
in the
There's all the
system.
bureaucracy here. There's so
Yeah,
much
yeah,
bureaucracy.
exactly.
There's so much
You know,
bureaucracy. Do
that
you know
is-
what
you
it's the
actually nailed it.
infrastructure that
There
we
is too
like.
much
It's
structure.
the infrastructure that
I'm
we like.
asking-
that's
That's
hindering
stopping
that.
us
Yeah,
from
yeah,
making
And
yeah.
this is why they say Nigeria is fantastically corrupt, because we
Yeah,
make money
yeah,
off
bro.
this
That is-
corruption.
that is-
We don't even spend cash here like that. When's the last time you had cash?
Yeah, we don't
Bro.
cash. It's not even a
Yeah.
cash
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
society,
Cash
bro.
We're
society.
slightly
They're
gonna get
even
to-
planning to
Structure's
remove it.
too
Yeah.
much. The structure's too
Yeah,
much.
exactly.
Yes,
The
yes,
structure that you
yes,
said
structure.
that
The
you
structure
wanted
that you like.
Came for.
is
The
the
structure
structure
that
that's
they-
blocking your side hustle.
Nah, it's the
Structure
truth.
won't let you do.
Bro.
It's actually the side hustle thing is terrible. Like you're doing an Airbnb business, for instance, you're paying tax.
Yeah,
Of course.
Of course.
You can absolutely.
They'll be there.
You know
Give
they
me
tax-
my money,
they tax you,
Jerry.
in
Bro.
UK, they tax you on everything. Like, they tax you on your death.
Yeah.
Even, you know, if you're buying a business, you have to pay tax on the
Yeah,
business that
yeah.
you bought. Like, what's it got to do with you?
Inheritance tax.
No, you pay. You know, stamp
Inheritance
duty.
tax as
Road
well.
tax.
You got to pay stamp duty tax on buying a business.
Do you know what's so
That's
crazy?
mad.
What's it got to do?
When they pay you, this is the one I learned.
And
I
I-
think in 2021, I was really disgusted. I can't even lie. Commissions, right?
I was sick to my
I
stomach.
was disgusted. Yeah, go on.
When you make commissions,
Mm.
like after they paid your annual
Yeah,
salary,
they
your
still tax
bonus
on
and
that. Yeah, they
commissions,
still
they
tax on
tax
it.
you.
Oh
Of
yeah, of
That's
course.
normal. That's normal.
This guy.
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
realized.
Yeah,
You
You
learn.
learn.
learn,
They
bro.
tax you, bro.
That commission or
So
bonus
this time
you're looking
you're
at.
saying, oh yeah, it's $5,000. You're spending over $5,000.
Yeah, right.
Buying
3-5,
stuff
bro.
in my
3
head.
3-5.
Hey, you know the biggest hit as well, yeah, that's a scam.
Student
It's
finance.
student finance.
Oh yeah.
That one,
Fam?
they scammed
My
us.
student finance is crazy.
No, I
bro.
have something to say on that. I don't think it's a scam.
It's a
Nah,
scam.
it's
It's
a
a
they
scam.
scammed
If you remove
us,
student
bro.
finance from your
bro.
paycheck right now, you will
Bro,
get.
you'd be so
You'd
happy.
be loving life.
No, I hear you. I hear you. But the alternative was you to pay it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No. But what I'm saying is deep, like what the generation before us paid and before that.
Yeah,
Bro,
3K.
I think
Yeah.
my brother paid like 3K. People before that paid like
One.
But do you know the nature of the thing is like, bro, if you dip out the country, you don't have to pay it, and if you go past a certain amount, they just write it off. So like, and even if they are taking out of your account, not like
No, but that's
Not like-
25 years of paying, and the more you earn, the more they take. or I have to leave
do
the
you-
country.
No,
Right off after
I'm
40
just saying,
years.
in this country,
Is it 40?
I think it's like 40
Come
years.
on, bro.
No, it's like 35, I think.
Yeah,
Even
Oh,
still,
35.
Whoa. 5 years, okay.
I mean, if we're gonna be
You get 5
technically-
years.
You get 5 years. Have that.
It's fair.
No,
Have
but
that,
all I'm
have that.
saying is, in comparison to, for example, what they would be dealing with in America, for example.
Yeah, America's one is
Yeah.
crazy.
Theirs is mad.
Crazy,
Theirs is
bro.
crazy.
That one is a scam.
In Nigeria, there's no student finance, of course. I assume, of course. Yeah. Let's not go there.
He looks
But
like,
what's,
come on.
average, what's like the
You have
uni
to pay
fees?
school fees, fam.
Oh yeah, that depends if you're going private,
Yeah,
federal,
private or
state.
public.
Because obviously
You
it's a
know what,
private
yeah?
situation, so
The schooling bit, yes, that bit is actually, I would say that is one of the advantages of schooling in Nigeria. To be fair, because especially when we went to uni, because now I see a lot of them complaining on social media they have to pay. They've increased the school fees, and it's like times 10, 10x.
Wow.
Yeah,
Crazy.
And it's not
So,
BTC.
yeah, and you know the thing
wow,
is this.
I'm telling you, bro.
See what you did
I
there,
could
yeah,
easily
get it.
say the figures I'm saying,
Yeah.
but it's
mad.
very easy to downplay to say, oh, that is maybe £1,000 or this. But you have to understand that
Relative to their
exactly,
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. That's a
exactly.
lot of
How
money.
much does the
Exactly.
average person
In Nigeria,
actually
yeah,
earn?
that's a lot of money.
110%,
But
I agree.
You know what though? The thing I
Relative.
do respect about Africa generally is that there is a system of ownership as opposed to credit. So like the Western world operates mainly off credit.
Yeah.
And you owning things and repaying them back.
Yeah.
Whereas in Africa,
You
no
own
matter what,
straight up.
if
It's
it's
yours.
yours, it's yours.
Yeah.
So even though like systems like the university fees is expensive and all that stuff, or people have to, the mortgage system, I think mortgage, the most you get is 2 years. You have to pay
Yeah.
off in like 2 years or 4. I
They're
think they've
just
introduced 4
beginning
now.
to introduce mortgage. It's not
Yeah,
really a
they're
thing.
just introduced, but I
Yeah.
think, I don't know if it's 2 years or 4 years is the max. That's how long a mortgage lasts.
I think that's to manage risk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Risk
exactly what I was
management,
about to
bro.
say.
Risk
So,
management.
Literally, bro.
literally, it's either you buy outright or you have to max 4 years to
Yeah.
pay off your mortgage. And the thing is, even though that's a bit crazy, I feel like in a thriving society, if everything else was patterned well, that's actually how it should be, because you have a society filled with people that actually own the things they have.
But
that's
they
the
own
thing,
their
you
land,
know.
they own their house.
I don't
I get
agree.
your view.
I don't like
However,
credit.
I feel like that
from-
only exists
Yeah.
because of the insecurity of the nation.
from a financial
Because
I
if you
think
look at-
credit
if you-
should be
no, no,
used
no.
for business,
No, but bro,
not
bro,
for
not really.
my
Even-
lifestyle,
not
maintaining my lifestyle.
Not,
not
I
not
get that.
necessarily. From a finance perspective, an economy should have the option
Credit.
for
Option,
Of course,
exactly.
of course,
It should,
of
that's what I'm
course.
saying.
And I mean, buying a house in the UK is quite expensive because they don't really have the space.
Yeah.
Right? But if you want to look at, let's say, the US, for instance, I look just for the sake of it on Zoopla. Sometimes I see houses for $30,000,
Right.
35,000.
That's
right?
mad.
Yeah.
That's
But
mad.
that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Because they have the space. You're looking, especially in Texas, although some people will come and say, it's very far from this and that, but at least there's something.
I think I agree with more with that. I think more so, not necessarily that they shouldn't be credit. I think more so what should be the case is that house prices relative to salaries should
Exactly.
make more sense. I think that makes more sense because, bro,
That
even
was too
if
far
you,
gone, man.
but
It doesn't even make
no,
sense
no,
here.
No, that's no. I'm talking about in economy.
Oh, I thought
This
you
is-
meant
this-
in this country.
No.
Okay.
In all things being in a better
All things being
economy, yeah.
equal.
Because for example, a country like Norway, bro, they make so much money. I was trying to check if they pay tax. They pay taxes there
Yeah,
as well,
they do.
but they make so much money, bro.
Mm.
As in like. They're selling wind, they're selling oil, they're selling this, to the point where they have like the largest sovereign wealth fund in the world.
Wow.
But they still give their people credit.
No,
They-
credit
and
is
they-
essential.
and individuals-
I'm not
and they have
I'm
like
not
one
saying
of the highest GDPs.
I'm
in
not
the
saying
country-
credit
in
is
the
a
world, so-
bad thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying in some societies where credit is the biggest emphasis and everything is on credit,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to establish a system of wealth.
No, of course.
Do you get? I feel like
course.
credit is very useful in the sense of if you're utilizing credit to acquire more wealth or
Yeah.
invest, that's when credit is amazing.
Yeah.
But to use credit as we
It's so-
function
of
on
course,
That's,
credit.
yeah,
that's
yeah,
why
yeah,
the
of
government
course,
does
yeah,
it,
yeah,
because that's how the
balance.
government makes
Yeah,
money.
yeah. And that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. There should be
That's
a
how they
balance.
make money.
Yeah, that's
And
how
that's
they
why
balance.
when all this high interest rate, people are struggling.
But then
Yeah.
again, the reason in this economy or in this London that we live that way is everything is taxed is because what does the UK make money from?
Produce
What
actually,
the,
right?
the UK doesn't
Take
make
it
money
from
off
people.
it.
It's people.
They don't. We
That's
don't.
what
We
they
don't
do.
export
Finesse.
anything.
This fam.
For example,
say
if you live in
financial
Saudi
services.
Arabia or one of these sort of oil like wealthy countries, you won't be paying tax. Why? Because they make so much money.
They
from,
don't need
they
to.
don't need your money.
And people
you
are
know what I
making
mean?
enough that they can
We
pay for
don't have
things.
anything that resembles that in any capacity.
Their biggest trade
other than
is
the money
fishing
that
and
we make.
financial
Do you know
services.
what- do you know
Yeah,
what-
true.
That's
when I look
crazy.
at it, yeah,
What fish?
when I look at it, I mean, the UK doesn't produce anything, yeah,
Yeah.
but they were smart enough to set up their place in a way that
The
we
infrastructure.
want to come here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally what they did.
Yeah.
The amount of money that Nigeria generates
Mhm.
that a few people pocket
Mhm.
is when people try to compare, but especially immigrants now,
Yeah.
a lot of us in the UK when they're having their talk on Twitter, they'll be like, oh, when I was in Nigeria, I was doing this, I was doing that. And I keep saying to them, listen, your biggest mistake is comparing Nigeria and the UK. Nigeria with their mates.
Two different
Right? Their
their
mates
age
is
mates.
Abu Dhabi, Dubai.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
are the people they have oil, you have oil, grind. Right?
Bro, man, they're not your friends. You shouldn't
Just
compare-
comparing them
Yeah.
with their elders.
Because their constitution,
you're
is completely
comparing
different.
UK that doesn't have, and in
Anything.
Nigeria we have oil, we have lithium, we have
Minerals, yeah.
so many
They have,
things,
they're,
right?
they're so endowed with.
And then we have land,
Yeah.
so we can actually go
Africa
agriculture.
generally, it's not even
So-
just
And
Nigeria.
that's why I was saying that in
Mm.
terms of like the UK system, it doesn't. I'm not saying that, but that's why it is the way it is.
Yeah.
Because they need to make their money from somewhere,
Yeah.
and what we do so well as a country is make money.
They finesse.
You know what I mean?
They finesse.
And they just like, okay, cool. You're gonna be
So-
like the
My question to you then, as someone that's seen this functioning society and then the Nigerian system, what do you think is the actual answer? What do you think, from your vantage point, what do you think is the answer for fixing Nigeria? Obviously, that's a very difficult
Yeah.
question, and if anyone had the answer to it, Nigeria would be fixed. But what do you think would actually resolve or help this country? Because honestly, I would love for Nigeria to be thriving. I feel like a lot of us would move back home if it was.
Yeah, I mean it's okay to dream.
Yeah.
But when you say fix Nigeria, you know what? Yes, it's not the system that is the problem. It's the
People in
people.
power.
it's the people. I was gonna say.
Right.
So
yeah.
do you feel we need to do
So-
what Ghana did? Just kill
Ghana
them?
is, you know, the
You
thing
know they
is,
killed them,
Ghana
yeah.
is not even. They don't even have any much difference. They have the same problems Nigeria has.
They have
So-
light though.
They don't.
No, they have
Sadly.
like better than
No,
us though. It's better than us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but how big is Ghana that
Yeah,
they should
true.
even be
That's
having?
another. No, but that's
That's
another
true.
issue though.
I
No,
said,
Nigeria's
shouldn't even
too
be
big.
struggling
No,
anyway.
no, that's
Yeah.
another problem. Nigeria's too big and it's
Nigeria
also
is
too
very,
divided.
very
It's
big.
very divided.
There's two divided. It shouldn't be one
Should be
country.
3 countries, bro.
This,
Yeah,
this,
big man
this,
thing.
It should be
this
free.
you're getting to the root
Roots
of
of the issue.
exactly. So that is why
crux.
it's really difficult. It's
Mm.
really
Yeah.
difficult. I
So
can't-
if you had to
I mean,
like
it's-
say, so fast forward, we've elected you 20 years from now. You're
in Nigeria,
the president of Nigeria.
Mm.
What's your mandate? What's your manifesto?
Let me
do
pocket
you know
small
what?
first.
That is.
Let me
that is-
Let me get contract.
that is too far. That is
No,
too
but
far.
I just want to see where your head's at.
What
What
I'm
do you
going to
think?
say is this: yeah, what Nigeria needs is rehabilitation of the people, and it's not just Nigeria. I do a lot of tweeting, so a lot of times I'll refer to my tweets. I said something. I've noticed the pattern is I don't. Of course, anyone can correct me, but I don't think there is any majority black nation in the world run by blacks that is
Thriving.
performing well.
That's true. I've always said this. Yeah, true.
Sad reality. Even looking, even in
It's true.
America,
I mean,
you're
You
looking.
could say South Africa, but it's
No,
got
not
white
South
people.
Africa. I was gonna say, what's it? Botswana.
Oh, Botswana is
That's
doing
got,
well.
No, but it's got
right?
white influence.
But they've got heavy.
Heavy influence.
Heavy.
Heavy.
You look at any black
Rwanda as well is
nation
another
run-
example. And they got white people
Rwanda,
too.
they have
no,
their
but they got white
issues
people
as
too.
well. You
Yeah.
know, this Paul Kagame, right?
Mhm.
They still have the issues. You know, they are. Of course, I like the fact that they are beginning to channel a lot towards tech and
Yeah,
IT
yeah,
and
yeah.
trying to influence a lot of. At least they've provided that stability.
Mhm.
A lot of tech companies coming to Africa would
Mm.
opt for Rwanda because
Mhm.
they've begun to
Yeah,
provide that. But
yeah.
it's sad, but it's just as if we really need rehabilitation and we
yeah.
need for the people that are obviously very, very old and still clinging on to power to sit down and have a conversation with themselves. Why
Why
you
can't you?
90,
Yeah.
80
So,
billionaire what are you doing?
Why are you running for
It doesn't
president?
even make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. When I see some people running for president, I'm like, if I had 2/3 of your wealth, I would be in a remote island somewhere. I don't even want to see anybody.
They want power.
Why would
There's
I
wealth
want?
and there's power. They want power.
Some of them even have power. They're just clinging onto it until
they
they
want
die.
more. That's the thing.
That's the thing.
Because if they get into
It's a
power,
human condition.
no, think about it. If they get into power, they're not just securing their next generation, they're securing their
but is that
for
greed?
time.
That
And
is
that's what
that
it is.
very unnecessary greed, right? So
Unfortunate.
that is what, the people need to have a sincere conversation.
But then that's not something
But
that can be done.
Exactly.
So it's like,
That's
it's
what I
almost like
said.
there's no answer.
That's what you
There
say.
needs to be a body, yeah, that can enforce accountability of spending, like not just for Nigeria, but like as a cluster of West Africa.
Yeah, the people that could have enforced such things, right, sat down and instead of setting up such checkmates, what did they do? They decided to enrich themselves. That's that's the reference I made to the Constitution. I said, look at America, look at the UK. The UK, I think my first culture shock when I came to the UK 2020, I was going past the TV. I wasn't really paying attention to it, and then I had a minister, one of the MPs, right, challenging the then Prime Minister Boris Johnson for spending £50,000 on something. I was genuinely shocked. I can't even lie.
But that needs to exist.
I was going to the kitchen. I had to come back to the living room. And I was standing.
You're upset by 50.
I was standing.
You know, Nigerian president is one of the highest paid in the world.
£50,000.
Highest
I
paid
can't even
president.
lie. There's governors in Nigeria. I see their patek. We're talking 120 grand on a wristwatch.
Governor.
A public service holder or whatever it is they call themselves, because they're not even public
prime
servants.
ministers are one.
The public is serving them. Do you understand? So that was my biggest culture shock. I'm like, I didn't really question the man for spending £50,000.
When people are spending millions.
And the guy was digging into him. It's like, you said this, you said that. Can we call you a liar? And
It's
I was
because
like,
there's
really?
infrastructure, so there's accountability.
There's a structure that has been set down. You see videos on the internet. Our president comes to the National Assembly and then they're singing on your mandate. This is a clown show.
I wish
because it's like almost people worshipping at that point. It's not politics anymore. It's people worship.
They're not serious.
Cult of personality.
You know what? Before we even wrap up here, you know one thing I enjoy about this conversation, this pod. This is just definitive proof, that all of us are entering our uncle phase.
Yeah.
We literally just spend X amount of time just discussing Nigerian
All we
politics.
needed is suya and Fanta and
Superman
and Origin.
And Orange.
I will have been set. In fact, I even say I need to go chop up this guy.
Life comes at you fast.
Bro, this is what we used to watch our dads do. We're doing it now.
Now, this is where you have to come back.
Let's discuss night politics.
You either have to come back or we're going to end this one day. And
Bro, we need to table this matter properly.
Let's do
We need to table this matter properly.
Nah, it's a shame we're short time today, man. It's a shame.
But yeah, man.
This was a good topic,
Thank
man.
you.
Thanks for coming through. Might do a part 2 of
Shining
this.
some insight.
Let him plug yourself.
Plug
man.
yourself, yeah.
Yeah, so
Cool, yeah.
Youth of London, basically you can easily follow me.
Youth of
across-
London.
Yeah.
Okay.
YUTE of London. You can follow me
So
across
UT.
all socials.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can shoot me for anything. How to get into IT, transition, changing careers, how to make an extra buck in the UK. I understand since I had. So I won't even judge you. You want to do anything, reach out to me.
You get
I'll
me?
definitely.
Let's work together. Let's work together.
I'll
you
show
know?
you
I
how
got
to
You get me?
transition into IT, into tech,
Mhm.
and get an extra buck for yourself.
No,
Yeah,
man.
anytime.
Thank you, man.
Sounds
Appreciate
good,
it.
man.
And
Appreciate you
please,
coming.
again, make sure you subscribe.
Yeah.
Please
Subscribe.
don't forget to subscribe.
We're trying to make an extra buck.
We're trying to make this extra
This
buck.
podcast
I
Oliver
said
Twist.
we just need to hit
Oliver
1,000 subscribers.
Please,
We've
can I
hit
have
every
We're
other
in the
metric.
structure.
We just need 1,000. Please subscribe.
We're stuck in this.
Subscribe. Thank you. God bless you.